So today is an exciting day because I've got my hands on this new DJI Mini 4 Pro. So let's crack this thing open and see what's inside. Now, before we dive in, just a quick backstory. I've been thinking about getting a drone for a while now, and yeah, I live in the Netherlands, which isn't the easiest place to fly. There are a lot of no-fly zones, especially in the cities, but honestly, I didn't buy this just to fly every weekend. I wanted a compact, smart drone that I could take with me on trips, on vacations, or even for the controlled shoots around open spaces. So the Mini 4 Pro caught my eye because it's super light, it's packed with pro level features, and it stays under that magic 249 gram limit, which means lower restrictions. So yeah, this one made sense for me. Now let's take a look inside. Okay, first thing right out of the box, this is the case. This actually feels nice, like way better than I expected. It is compact, yeah, but also kind of sleek. It feels durable, not that soft, cheap stuff that some cases come with. I think it's easy to carry, fits in a backpack, and it doesn't scream expensive tech inside, which is kind of nice for traveling. It's not bulky or flashy, just clean and functional. And super low-key branding, just that little DJI tag on the zipper. I like that. Okay, so let's open it up. Okay, everything's packed really neatly in here. Everything's in these little plastic wraps. And this is the RC2 with the built-in screen. So no more relying on the phone. So that is good. Next up, we have batteries. 3 intelligent flight batteries. That means a lot more flying without constantly having to recharge. I love that. And then the drone itself, still wrapped up, but even through the plastic you can tell how compact this thing is. I mean, it literally fits in the palm of my hand once it's folded. Right, let's see what else is hiding in here. Okay, so we've got some extra propellers and a couple of USB cables and I think a tiny screwdriver for changing the props. And then we also have this little instruction booklet in here. Alright, so I've got everything laid out here on the table, and let's start with the RC2 because this is really a game changer. Okay, so the first impression, this feels really premium. The joysticks feel smooth and DJI stores them at the back of the controller, so there's this little detail. And yeah, the screen is built right in, so no more fiddling with the phone, and everything feels really natural where it should be. Alright, so let's get into the batteries. They come nicely wrapped too. So I've got 2 right here in the pouch, and yeah, 1 is already loaded in the drone, so that makes 3 in total, just like they promised with the Fly More combo. So each one of these battery is a standard intelligent flight battery, so not the plus version. So DJI says you'll get up to 34 minutes of flight time, or around 30 minutes if the drone is just hovering, but realistically you're not hitting those numbers because of the wind and the temperature and how aggressive you're flying. So it all chips away at that maximum time, and you've got to leave a bit of buffer too so it can return home and land. So in the real world I would say maybe about 25 minutes per battery is a solid estimate. Okay, so let's open the drone now. Let's take it out of the pouch. Alright, so this right here, look at this, folded up like a little spaceship. So yeah, this one's got this omnidirectional obstacle avoidance now, which is huge upgrade as it's got sensors on all sides, so it's way smarter about dodging the stuff. And one nice little touch is that they've added this propeller guard now, so the props don't flap around when it's packed, so it's super handy when you're traveling or just tossing it in a bag. Alright, so now let's take off this propeller guard, and you can see that the prop starts flapping around as soon as it's off. So that little guard actually does a solid job keeping them in place, especially if you're tossing this in a bag. So that's a nice little touch. And they also have this gimbal guard. So now let's get this gimbal guard off. It's right here. Oh, from the other side. Yeah. Okay, and inside the gimbal everything's packed in super neatly. They've got some plastic tape holding it down, and even this little plastic wedge to stop it from moving during shipping. And honestly, I'll just probably throw it out, and maybe some people want to keep it just in case. Okay, okay, everything looks very nice. So maybe let's just peel off all the plastic bits now. Okay, so I'll go ahead and pop the guard back on for now, just to keep it safe. Alright, so time to unfold this beast. So the rear arms go sideways like this, and then the front ones come forward and up. Really satisfying how everything clicks into place. This design is super clean and compact, but still feels solid. And there it is, fully opened up, looks sharp, and it's wild how much power they've packed into something this small. Alright, so let's take a look at the rest of the things. So first up, we've got some extra propellers, I think, which is always handy, especially if you're flying in tighter spaces or just learning the ropes. It's good peace of mind knowing that you've got some backups when you need them. And then we've got some USB cables. Nothing too exciting, but essential for charging everything up. I always appreciate having a few extra laying around. So one is USB-C to USB-C. I think this is something that probably most people are going to use, and the other one is USB-A to USB-C. Yeah, so the pretty basic cables. And then this little guy, it's a tiny screwdriver for when you need to do some maintenance or swap out some parts. Pretty useful, and it's nice that they include it in the Fly More combo so you're not scrambling for tools. Yeah, so that's everything in the box. I'm honestly really excited to get this thing in the air and put it through its paces. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.